In this lesson, we're going to cover the importance of researching people. Some of the things I learned from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, include what Dale Carnegie says is that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. He also says to be interesting, be interested. And I also learned from Dale Carnegie, talk to somebody about themselves and they'll listen for hours. What I've learned in my own experience is that people love to talk about themselves. And asking people questions about themselves and showing sincere interest in learning about them is the best way to build a relationship and to build rapport. And throughout this program, you're going to benefit greatly if you're able to quickly engage people in a meaningful way and engage them in meaningful conversation. Throughout my career, I have found it highly effective to research the people I'm going to have a meeting with in advance of that meeting, and then creating engaging questions that will get that person to share information about themselves that I can learn from. Here's what I do when I'm getting ready to meet somebody. I call this my pre-meeting research or pre-call research, and I do it virtually every single time. I want to learn as much about that person that I'm meeting with, as much about their business, and as much about their industry before I meet or before I speak with them. I'm going to run them through Google. I'm going to run their name and their company through LinkedIn. I'm going to check them out on Instagram and or Facebook. And I'm also going to look on YouTube to see if there's any video information out there that'll help me learn about them. By doing this research and looking in these places, I generally find a lot of stuff about the person, their company, and their industry. What I want to talk to you now is about a case study on doing some research of my colleague and friend Bill Whitley. Bill's a writer, a speaker, a trainer, an accomplished businessman. And I want to talk to you now about how, if you were going to talk to Bill and try and engage Bill, some research you could do on him. So if I looked up Bill Whitley and ran a Google search on him or looked at him on LinkedIn, here's some things I'd learn. I'd learn that he's an author of 3 books. I'd learn that he has a lot of previous work experience working for and building different companies. I'd learn that he has a wife named Leanne, that they have 3 kids, that he went to Campbell University, that he went to Hampton High School in Virginia, and that Bill is known as a great storyteller. So what could I do with this information with Bill to engage with him more quickly? Well, I could create terrific engagement questions. And knowing already that people like to talk about themselves, could you imagine if I did this research and engaged Bill in this way? Hey Bill, I notice you've done a ton of different things in your career. You've got the Whitley Group and IXL and Train One and Mind Blazers. You now have this company called the Risk Advisor Institute. Which one of them did you like the most? See, open-ended questions, shows Bill that I've done my research on him, gets him leaning forward with interest and talking about himself. I could also ask Bill something like, how did you become an author? I could ask him, hey Bill, I noticed on your LinkedIn profile, one of your customers considers you a great storyteller. Tell me about that. Or I could ask him something like, what's the best advice you've given your kids? In all these cases, I've shown Bill that I've done my homework about him and I've asked him things that I wouldn't know just randomly or that I should have known by researching him, but I've asked him questions that will get him to lean forward with interest and to be engaged with me because I'm talking about him. What I've really learned from all my experience of asking people questions based on the research that I've done on them is this. If you ask smart questions, people think you're smart. Conversely to that, of course, is if you ask dumb questions, well, people may think you're dumb. But if you ask smart questions, people think you're smart. Your job is to do research before each and every call or each and every meeting and use what you learn to come up with engaging questions, questions that will get people to lean forward with interest. And in doing so, you'll be on your way to making a great first impression on the people you meet And more importantly, you'll get to learn more information about them and their industry and their career so you can ultimately hone in on what it is you want to do for your job and your career. And that's the importance of doing research on people and then using that research to ask good, smart, engaging questions.